Hey everyone, it's Fitz with the Walk and Talk. Hope you're doing well. Ready for some football on Saturday right behind me. It's going to be a big game. I feel like I've said this almost every game this season. This is a big one. This is a big one on so many levels. And I talked to Coach Kleiman about it a little bit, players a little bit, just kind of getting a grasp of everything. One thing I didn't really ask, because it just didn't quite fit into the press conference today, was about recruiting, how important this is for recruiting. And you know, every coach will play it down. So in that setting, you're not going to get that valuable of an answer. So I think this is enormous. Iowa State under Matt Campbell is doing an incredible job of recruiting players that K-State would like. They're kind of in the same area in terms of what they're looking for in football players. A lot of development going on, but also they do a great job in Kansas City, and that's a big problem. Iowa State being so present in Kansas City with a member of their staff who's got KC ties, it's really gotten difficult for K-State to get as many kids out of Kansas City as the program needs to kind of sustain where they're going. That's level one, where I think this game's important. Level two is not 45-0 last year. Yeah, it was a pandemic season. Yeah, I discount it. I mean, talking to players and coaches, they discount it because of the weirdness of last season. And Kleiman admitted that he's glad he played the game, despite the fact that they had an opportunity to declare the no contest, and they didn't do that. But 45-0 stings. They haven't spent a lot of time looking back at it, but you know, as I said in the daily delivery, it kind of added some needed heat to this rivalry, because K-State, even though Iowa State had split the two previous to last year, that had been their only win in 12 years. They had one win in 12 seasons. So to have them not just win, but hang a bit of ugly on K-State was important rivalry. And most of the players admit Farmageddon has become important in that locker room. They understand the tension, and they see the similarities between the two schools. That, Kansas State is an ag school. They know that well. They may not be ag majors, but when you're a school based in ag and engineering and those type of things, it does carve out an identity for your school. One I think K-Staters in general are really proud of. Iowa State's the same way, aren't they? I mean, seriously, the Cyclones are an ag school like K-State. There's some similarities between Ames and Manhattan, similarities in fan bases, the passion with which the two fan bases travel to games and support their team despite being smaller rural institutions, if you want to describe it that way. Farmageddon's turned into something real and tangible. It started off, that phrase was created, I think, by Kevin Haskin of the Topeka Capital Journal, formerly of the Topeka Capital Journal, unfortunately. It was kind of a joke. Not joking anymore. And, people have designed trophies and stuff, and I've always thought, hey, you know what though? After talking to the players, I'm in, man. Let's get a trophy going. Let's actually make Farmageddon a real thing. Because K-State is now viewing Iowa State as a real rival, on the football field at least. This game has intense value for the program. Iowa State just can't imagine being 3-3 in a season when they thought they were top 10, maybe could get in the playoff. Well, that's all gone now. So the possibility of dropping to 3-3 at the turn, so to speak, the midway point of your schedule, it's got to be horrifying in Ames, just horrifying. I'm going to be blunt here. Iowa State's the better team. They're more settled in more areas. They've got really good players on both sides of the ball. They've got a lot of experience. They had a lot of guys come back for this season, when they could have moved on because of the promise of the year. So, I don't know. We'll find out how this game transpires. But again, just an enormous game for both programs. 6:30 p.m. Stadium right behind me. I'm leaving now. Hope you've enjoyed the walk and talk. And Zach always tells me to say this early, but make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribing to GoPowercat. And Zach, I promise, next week I'll remember to say this earlier.